It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. Welcome to Mind Your Business. I am so pleased to have you here, Tomika Pacheco. You are the founder of Off-Grid RV Company.
Yes.
Which I'm really excited about. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you came up with that idea.
Sure.
But before we do that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Tomika Pacheco. I'm the founder of Off-Grid RV Company, or Off-Grid RV Co. It is a brand new business to the island, brand new business to market. So it's a lot of news for me in this venture. Mm-hmm. I'm not a new business owner. I do have another business called Enterprise Bermuda.
Okay.
And that provides, with my knowledge and experience in working with the Office of the Tax Commissioner, I have a good bit of knowledge and wealth that I can share to the community and small businesses. So it's a tax service business.
Okay.
And I help to file small and medium-sized business payroll taxes. So it's been a really busy business.
I would imagine so.
It really has been.
Yeah.
So juggling the two has been a wealth of knowledge, reward, excitement. It's just continuous.
Okay.
Yes.
So that business, I'm sure a lot of people, the tax business, need your assistance and need support in that area, because sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming when you're trying to figure out what to do.
Yes.
So I can imagine that you're busy, especially around filing time, right?
At this current time, I'm very busy.
Okay. Yes. And is that what you do full time?
No, full time. I actually, my 9 to 5, I work in the pension space. I'm a pension operations manager.
Okay.
So I work with pensions, annuities, investments, between 9 to 5, and then I'm finding time to do taxes. Good thing, I love it. And then I'm also building this business and this brand for Off-Grid RV.
Oh my goodness. So I know you from Off-Grid RV, but we're going to have a conversation after this talk about the other business.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people that can need your support.
Sure.
So first of all, how are you finding the time to do this? Because it's 3 things that you have doing, but then you have family and you have all that stuff too. A little one, so how do you kind of navigate that space?
So I set time out for my businesses.
Okay.
You know, I've used the calendar, so to speak, to book time for myself. You know, if I have that hour and a half, I book the time, and I try to allocate at least 2 hours a day. Okay, and that's weekends inclusive. That I'm devoted to just being entrenched into the businesses. Because if I don't, each day would just continue to roll and roll and roll and roll, and I would never get a chance to really work on any of it. Right. You know, with Off-Grid, because it's new, there's a lot of government approvals. There's a lot of meetings I need to set up. There's a lot of follow-up meetings and emails, and even understanding what I need as a new business. So it's a lot involved in it. So I have to set the time and say, okay, 2 hours on this day at this time is devoted to doing this. Okay. Yes. You're better than me. I can't. So better. But so tell everyone what Off-Grid RV is. Sure. So it's always exciting to talk about it. Yeah. It's like my pitch moment. So Off-Grid RV is essentially a hotel on wheels. It's in an RV, which is a recreational vehicle. I'm trying to bring these new fancy, shiny, silver-looking RVs to the island that can hold up to 4 people. Okay. It gives you the opportunity. My mission and my motto is giving you the opportunity to unplug, to connect with nature, to be in these natural eco environments that are in our public spaces that we don't necessarily go and use all the time. You know, Bermuda is beautiful. We say that. We can always say that to our tourists. We can say that to our friends overseas and say, it's such a beautiful island. It's green. It's so nice. The beaches are nice. But are we really getting to experience that beauty.
Right.
Right. And that's what Off-Grid is intending to do. One, it's solving the problem of hotel beds. And while it is a small amount of beds that it's injecting back into that area, it is allowing extra beds to be available in RVs, in nature, for not only that, our genre of people that we have now, which is the luxury, the business, but it opens another,
it opens, who are concerned about the environment.
Exactly. It opens another gateway for other types of tourists. I think we as a tourist destination, we have to think futuristic. And I think with RV, what I'm intending to do is be futuristic. I'm looking at the eco-tourism. I'm looking at sustainable tourism. And everything that I've done with the research for this business is about sustainability. And I think that sustainability should be entrenched in all avenues of tourism, whether it's luxury tourism or whatever. We should always be considering the environment.
I would agree with you, and I definitely think that there's a demand for that. Even in the National Tourism Plan, they identify this type of tourists, right? So I think it's in line with where we want to go in terms of the strategy as a country. So talk about what has your experience been like? Because, of course, like you said, you want the RV to be able to go to different places on the island. That adds to the attractiveness of the whole plan. But, of course, that's going to require permissions, right? So can you share with us the experience you've had and what types of permissions and which types of departments you've had to kind of engage with to try and get this business going?
Sure. Yes, government approvals is the first layer of even getting to running the business. The departments I have to speak to is TCD because I'm on wheels. I have to speak to planning because it's a dwelling. Whether it's not residential, it's more commercial, it's still a dwelling. I need to get approval and understand their needs. I have to speak with parks because it's public space. I have to speak with estate management because they also deal with public space as well. I even had to speak with the environment department, which is the people that oversee Spittle Pond and the Cooper's Island. Areas that I can't touch, of course, but I still need to be in communication with these departments as well to have an understanding of what I can and cannot do with regards to the environment. I have to speak with customs because I'm importing. I have to speak with the Quangos, BLDC, with WEDCO to build relationships and partnerships with them. So it's a lot of government entities that I have to connect with. And it's been challenging, exciting, but also educational. All in one. All in one.
I know. I mean, I understand that sometimes, especially in our role, we see and we know the levels of permissions that you have to go through and try and get. And sometimes you're just like, you know what? Forget about it. You know what I mean? And I think that it's important for you to have a clear vision and be passionate about it. Like, you could tell when you talk about it, you are so excited about it. And I think that excitement is contagious. I know for me, I already envision what it could be. But it's the process of getting there that can sometimes be a bit overwhelming.
It can be.
So now you're in our incubator program, our Enterprise Bermuda incubator. It's 12 months or whatever the case may be. And my first question is what made you decide to apply? Because you have business ownership experience with your tax business. So what were you hoping to achieve by applying to the program?
So I did Ignite. And Ignite is a shorter program, a 6-month program. And I did that in the beginning portion of last year. So last year, January till June. And then I needed a what next? I needed to have sort of the transition in. I needed more time. And I knew that this was the next step for me even when I was in Ignite. I knew with 3 months in, because I started Ignite during the ideation phase. I didn't even have a name.
Wow.
I didn't have a name. I didn't have a name till probably maybe 2 months in, maybe 3 months.
Okay.
You know, I didn't have a name. I had an idea. I was set on my idea. I knew all the parameters around having that idea. I just didn't have a name, and I didn't have all the notions and knots that were needed.
Yep.
So I knew that I was going to do this program anyhow.
Okay.
And then, of course, with a BDC's program, one, it's 12 months.
Yeah.
The other part of it, there's access to funds. With an entity such as this, a lot of, capital is needed to be injected into this from inception.
Yes.
So I knew that those were key areas of why I had joined the program.
Okay. Well, what in your opinion, like what has been, I will say 2 questions, the most challenging part for you with this business, and then what, after being in the program, do you think has helped you with regard to overcoming those challenges, I would say?
The biggest challenge is just the government approvals. That's the biggest challenge, because the hard stuff is in the beginning. Yeah. And that's the first layer, which is government approvals and connecting with all these entities. It's a plus, and I wouldn't say it's a negative, but it's a plus because I get to build a rapport early. Yes. So I get to know who's running TCD and who's the PS for TCD and who's in this department and who's... So I get to have all those relationships ahead of time. So it kind of chops down of when we get to the end, I have less of trying to convince what it
because
is.
you already have that relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge, but I've overcome it because I just, again, making that time. You know, I had to take half-day vacation in order to book 3 meetings in one day. Yeah. You know, I met with TCD, I met with Parks, and I had to take that vacation time to allocate to just doing those entities and getting it done. Yeah. So it's a challenge, but it's also an
necessary, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. It's part of the process. Yeah. I know. I wish we could go like this, and then
trust me, I wish.
You know what I mean?
I wish.
And just make it happen. But I feel like you are charting the course, right? Because this hasn't been done in Bermuda before in this way. You have smaller Airbnbs and things like that, but not a mobile vehicle that's creating a solution for, like you said, the beds that we're missing with the closure of Southampton Princess, all of these things. So it's creating more beds and an experience. So I'm really excited about it. So you tell me, like, when in an ideal world would you launch it? Like, when are we going to see these beautiful Airstreams on the island? If you
asked me that last year, I would have said last year. Yeah. And if, in my mind, I'm like, it's this year. Right. But realistically, it will have to be in time or in alignment with 2024. Okay. April 1. Right. Because that's the season. That's Bermuda's season. Yep. As much as I would do my best to have more business in the shoulder season, in the winter and the fall. Yeah. That's not right now. Right. I do anticipate having the RVs on island this year. But I wouldn't launch until next year. My plan is to start off with the local market first. My locals are always going to say to me, change this, do this, put flowers here, and I think that's important. So I'll start with the local market in the fall and kind of get the appetite and see how things are. And then in the new year, the January, February, March, although it is a shorter season for the tourism entity, it is a really good season for the marathons, for the, community engagements,
that's
like Relay for Life. Yep. There's entities that are just a hub that I can be there and kind of make a presence. So I'm looking forward to it.
I am too.
It's exciting.
I'm excited for you.
It's a lot. But I got to just have a target date so that for me, it's a focal point. Yes. It's like, okay, if I believe I can have these in by October 1, that's focal for the vehicle.
That's right.
And then if I believe that, by November, I can start to, generate those bookings and such. And so I look at it in phases.
Yeah. I think it's important too, especially like you said, you have 3 things going on already. So if you don't, like it could all get all mixed up.
Yeah.
But that's really exciting. I'm excited for you. I think it's a huge opportunity there. And I think once you get one on island and you're like, okay, there is a demand for this. People do want this experience, and it'll make it easier for you to get the next one, and however many.
Yes.
So in terms of the RVs, have you curated like spaces on the island where you want to set them up already? Yeah.
It's funny that you ask that, because I met with Parks, I think about maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Everything feels like it was just yesterday for me, because everything's just going. But I met with them, and they are the most knowledgeable people in that space. Those park rangers, I met with Craig Burt, and I met with Jessica, and they are like, the head park ranger and things like that, and they know our island. And honestly, I left that meeting, if I can be that leprechaun clapping the ends of my heels together in complete joy, that was that moment. Because I walked away having a scope of, okay, let's do Lodge Point, let's do Whale Bay, let's do, the traditional areas that we go, that we know of. But then they gave me totally different, secluded, more, for one was Scholar Hill. Right? Yeah. I know Scholar Hill, I partially grew up in Somerset, so I know Scholar Hill, right? But do I know Scholar Hill?
Right.
Right? And, they were able to say to me, listen, beyond the gates, in the back, there's an area where you can put your RV. It's connected to trails. And Craig even alluded to, that could be more for the adventurous type. Yeah. They can do walking in the tracks. And I was like, look at this.
Right.
Like this is crazy. This is great.
Yeah.
You know, so he was able, the two of them, Craig and Jessica, they were able to give me specific areas, and they pulled it up on their screen, and they used their maps, and they showed me what's their land versus what's the nature reserves, what belongs to the different government entities, and they showed it up on the map and was able to pinpoint it, copy it. Like,
that's awesome.
I had it all mapped out.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it makes it easier, and it gives you an opportunity to market it as these are definitely off the beaten path. Because like you said, we live in Bermuda. Yes. We go to the typical places, but there's so many like hidden gems in Bermuda that you don't even know. Like sometimes I'm driving and I'm like, if they cut down some trees, I'm like, I didn't even know that was back there. Exactly. And I think that adds to the whole experience that you're trying to create with this product. So girl, I'm on team off-grid already, okay? Because I'm ready when they get here to take advantage of it. So let's ask you about some of the other plans that you have, because you have these 3 jobs, right? Is it your intent to do one of them or 2 of them on a full-time basis? Like, do you want to eventually be only working for yourself? Or is this still, do you still want it to be sort of like part-time? What's your ultimate goal?
I know, it's tough. Ultimately, in my mind, like I've always been an entrepreneur, right? From the time I was 10, 11, 12 in middle school, and just always was trying to find an innovative way to do something different.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm an entrepreneur, right? Where I work is amazing. It's a lot. It's a lot of learning. It's great. But eventually I would have to, I'll be forced to break off on my own and fully commit. Yeah. At this time, I'm fortunate enough to have different people in different spaces to be able to support me in different areas, which is amazing. But I only have that through the Ignite and through BDC, to have these entrepreneurial connections that I can, say, well, I need this or I need that. And, I have the support in other people that can help me get where I need to be. at this moment, it's okay. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like so much.
Yeah.
But at this moment, with off-grid and being able to do like the sort of high-level things of meeting with these government entities, it's okay right now, because these are things I kind of like to do.
That's good though, because sometimes people are like, I don't want to do this part. I just want to make it look pretty and bring it in. But
see,
to get there, you got to do what you're doing.
See, this level of it, as much as it's a lot, I don't mind this level of it.
Okay.
The level that will start to get me all frazzle-dazzle is the marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing's not my thing.
Yeah.
I know what I want it to look like.
Right.
I know what I want it to feel like. I can touch the five senses.
Yes.
Right? But I don't do marketing.
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm more strategic. I can move numbers around. That's what I do.
Okay.
So
But the good thing is there's people for that, right?
Absolutely.
You got a person for that. Like, and I'm sure in the
persons.
persons. Okay.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I think, like you said, Ignite and the Enterprise Bermuda program provides you do get to make those connections with others who are in those spaces, or they might have a person and you're like, you need to talk to this person. So it allows you to develop those connections to support you where you said you're not that great at that, but you're excellent at this. And in most cases, it's the planning and strategy that most, entrepreneurs don't like. They're like, I just like doing the thing, right?
I like the pretty stuff.
Yeah, I like the pretty stuff. But the fact that you have a handle on that is huge because it is required to do what you want to do. To get this thing off the ground, you have to be able to have those conversations, to get the approvals and all of that stuff. If not, it's like dead in the water. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
For staying the course, because I know it's been easy.
It's not easy.
I know it's not. I know it's not. And I'm confident that at the end you can be like, I did this.
I know. Honestly, I can't wait for, like, right now I'm so in the space of it that, we met up with other entrepreneurs and we try to meet up as often as we can. And they're like, Tomika, you've made
so much progress.
You did so much. And I'm like, I can't think about that because as much as it's a great thing to do, celebrate you when you're in it. Yeah. But because I'm so in it, I can't even see the
progress
rainbow.
that you've been. Yeah.
I'm literally just in it. I'm just on it. It's moments that I'm sleeping.
And you're thinking about,
wait a minute, I can name this RV this. And it can look like, because I'm just so in it, right?
But I do think you have to celebrate those small wins because sometimes it can be overwhelming and you feel like you're not making progress. Yeah. And, that negative Nelly that's in the back of all of our brains can start saying things to you and like, is it even worth it?
Right.
And it takes sometimes you have to self-talk. Talk yourself out of it, or utilize your tribe, right, to help you to move past that and be like, look, no, we're striving towards a purpose, and it may not go as fast as you want it to go, right, but it is going, and you have made so much progress. You know what I mean? And we're all on team Tomika. Yes, so don't you worry about that. All right. So, we asked about your 9 to 5. For the people that are considering entrepreneurship, so you have it in your blood, obviously, because at 10, you probably was the one selling the candies to people at the school.
And I got in trouble for doing that.
They always hating on people.
They called my mom in and they told me I cannot sell on property.
You see,
I cannot
now
sell
what
on property.
if we had switched that whole narrative up and created a safe space for you to do that? How many more?
I would have started a long time
Listen to me. And so I feel like that is one of the reasons why maybe this organization was started, why we try to encourage young people to start thinking about entrepreneurship early, because why not?
And honestly, it's funny. What I was doing was I used to purchase toothbrushes. And back then, the toothbrushes were the plastic ones that were really pretty. Like you can get red and green and, the transparent. So I used to get them. I melted them down, took the bristles off. I bent them and made bracelets.
Girl, stop.
I made bracelets. But when the school got a whiff of it, it went all the way to the principal. My mom was called in and they said I cannot sell on property. And I was in trouble for it. But I learned, what solicitation is.
Yeah.
At that point, I didn't even understand the word.
Right, you was just doing what came natural to you, obviously.
But I learned the word at that point. I learned about, the supply and demand.
Yeah.
And, it started off with just like an idea.
Yeah.
And then I was selling.
Yeah.
I was selling.
Girl.
And I was
love that.
trying to keep up. And I remember my brother saying, why are you selling for this much? You should sell it for this much.
Yeah.
And I was like, just trying to understand the whole, everything around what I was even doing. And at that point, I didn't even realize I was a business owner or entrepreneur. But it started from there.
That's amazing. I love that story. And so for me, it's like, what can we do as organizations that support entrepreneurship to encourage that type of entrepreneurial thought, right?
Yeah.
Because not everybody has a mindset. You just did it.
I just did
right?
it, yeah.
And not everybody thinks that way. So my question to you is, what would you say to someone who maybe has an idea, right, and is not sure if they should pursue it? What would you advise them to do?
One, go for it. It's been a lot of times that I've had ideas and then I just let it sit. But I think this time I was like, no, I'm going to get this done. And in my mind, a year ago, I had planted that I will get this done.
Yes.
And that has been my motivation from a year ago. And that's why, for me, I just keep blinders on and just keep going. Because, with all the talks and, meetings, it's been things I've been in meetings where they've completely gone negative. And then I've been in meetings where it's completely gone positive. But what keeps me motivated also is the network of entrepreneurs. That is the biggest value out of all of this. So my advice is to go for it. One. Two, find a group of people or a space, BDC, Ignite. Find a space that has people that think like you. Entrepreneurs think differently.
They do.
They think far out the box. Like, this is the box, and they're far out the box. Find a space that has people that think like you, because you can piggyback off those people. And where you are in your journey, they can assist you with it. And what I found in my journey is, having this network of people, I can ask about this topic or that topic or legal or this. I'm doing incorporation, right? We all know to go to specific legal companies, but these companies are big companies. So it's going to be pricey to talk to them and to even think of the process of incorporation. But because of the network, we had small businesses or businesses that starting out that use other entities. And I found that using the smaller legal entities is so much more you get from them, because they understand what you need and can guide you into things that you didn't think about, but they're like, hey, don't forget you need a waiver. Hey, you're going to need legal documents. We can help you with that. You're going to need a business account. We advise that you go to this bank. So
it makes a difference. It makes a difference, because I think everybody's entrepreneurial journey is different depending on what it is that they're doing. But there are a lot of similarities, right? There's certain things you need to have. You need to file for payroll taxes, right? We know that. So all of those things, if you have someone who's been there, done that, then being able to leverage that knowledge is what I think can make the whole experience easier for the person that's coming up. So those of you who are listening, you're not sure whether you should do it. Tomika said do it.
Yes,
do it. Take the risk.
You do have to. It's all about the risk. It's all about the risk. And you just have to take it, because most of the time, there is reward at the end. It is.
So my last question for you is going to be, pretend you could have a time machine and go backwards in time and speak to your 10 or 11-year-old self, what would you tell her?
That's a good question. I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to be able to maneuver this sort of ways of thinking and how it will change the scope of things. But I will say to just believe in yourself. And there's always going to be the negative voices, the negatives, but then there's also going to be positive. And like, at the end of it all, like, don't overthink it. Okay. Like, I find now that I'm probably more like less, like, I don't want to say that I'm unbothered, but
I love that. It's
like now in my life versus me at 10, I was probably more concerned about, what people had to say and things like that, because you're 10, right? Yeah. And there's all these social norms you have to somewhat conform to. But now, at this age,
you're like,
I just do what I got to do. I just be.
Yeah.
Now at this age, I just be me.
Yeah.
And I wish at 10 I could
that you knew it was.
I could be me at 10.
Yeah.
But where I was at 10 until now.
Yeah, it's a lot of different life experience. Yeah.
But the one thing that I would say is I wish I could have just been me.
Yeah.
The me I am today, the me I could have been from birth.
Because if you was you then, girl, wait a minute. She would have been
I'll be Elon
taking
Musk
them.
or
I'm
something.
telling you. You'd have been like, look out, I am here. No, it's been lovely speaking with you. I am I'm very much looking forward to seeing the RVs on island. I know that it's going to be fabulous. I know when you first pitched it, I was like, yes. And so while I'm disappointed that it's taken so much to get to where you need to be, I know that you're going to make it happen. Yeah. And definitely I'll be one of the first ones signing up to experience it, because I think it can be awesome. Yes. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for coming on Mind Your Business.
This has been amazing. This is so conversational.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I mean, and believe it or not, sharing your story and your experience is going to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Because trust me, somebody sitting around like, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why we do this, is to make sure that people are not just hearing from us and saying, oh, you should start your business, from people who are actually doing it and hearing the challenges and what you do to overcome it, because it is inspiring. You are going to inspire somebody.
Yes. That's the end goal.
That's the end goal.
And I mean, I'm here to help if anyone, has questions, needs advice. If they want to email me, it's Tomika Pacheco at Outlook. If people want to email me and just, hi, I need help with this. Yeah. I'll do my best to answer back and support people as best as possible. Because I think that is the biggest blessing.
It is.
Like, it's not what you can do for you, but what you can do for others.
Yep, I love that. Thank you, girl.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.